Hi everyone, welcome. It is Thursday. I promised you a Q&A today. Running a bit late on client appointments and things of that nature, helping some people who are in emergencies at this time of the year, struggling at this time of the year. So many people are struggling at this time of the year, unfortunately. All right, let's get started. Who has questions? It's time for Q&A. All right, everybody. Hey, Louisa. Nice to see you here. Lots of cool people joining our community. Pro Medical Medium, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Amazing. Hey, Christy Barkley. Nice to see you here. All right, it's time for Q&A. So Sarah says, what are your thoughts on grounding mats? Grounding mats are a difficult one to address only because they're so popular based on the theory that, you put the mat into the round hole, the grounding part of the socket, which is the round one, which links to a copper wire and it goes straight into the earth. And that is supposed to be bringing in Earth's grounding energy, which it can bring in Earth's grounding energy, but it doesn't work the same way as if you are, on the Earth itself. So do mats work? I mean, you're spending a lot of money, you're spending a lot of energy to use them. And I've had them, by the way. I use grounding mats. I used to have the grounding slippers, the mats, the sheets, the whole shebang. I had all of it. And I would say that it's really not that super helpful. Go onto the earth itself. That's way more helpful. Okay, so next question. Christy, my thumb is doing better. It's healing up. It doesn't hurt anymore. So that's good. Unless I really touch it or pop it, it doesn't hurt anymore. So yeah. Hey, Lizzie Cohen, nice to see you here. The real Eva Graham. Hi, Eva. How are you doing? Can you tell me about the cause of clogged? Sorry, your comment just disappeared. Can you type it again? Maybe I can find it. I'm scrolling to see if I can find your comment. Where'd it go? So, there it is. Okay. I was trying to see if it shows up on my Instagram, on my website, but it doesn't. The live doesn't show up there. So can you tell me the cause of clogged meibomian glands? I think they're just glands. Usually they get clogged because of streptococcus. Excess of streptococcus in your system will clog them. Lex says, hi, Muneeza, thinking about you and your family during the heart. Yeah, thank you. We're doing okay. We're hanging in there. Doing okay. Lissy, can you tell me anything about really high numbers, 2000s for thyroid antibodies? Yeah, so if that's going on, that means you have a really raging Epstein-Barr infection. That means the infection is super high, the viral load is super high, and that's why you'd have the good guys, which are your antibodies, super high. So the army of the bad guys, which is EBV, they get stronger, and your immune system is launching an attack to attack that, right? So that's actually a good thing. But if it's super high, that means your immune system could be in a big fight for its life. So you want to help it by bringing in tools to kind of help the immune system further along and help to deal with the issue. So yeah, I think that that's an important one to consider and to work with, and bring in the EBV core 7, bring in the right foods, cut out the foods that don't work, and go from there, basically. Lissy Cohen says, can you tell me anything about really high... Sorry, I just read that. Layla Sade says, what is going on with Berkey? I have a clarification coming out this afternoon for more insight. So there's a lot going on for Berkey. Basically, the EPA has sued them, or not sued them, has gone after them for the first time since they've been in business in over 25 years to tell them that they cannot sell their filters, their gravity filters, because they are classified as pesticides. because they have a claim that they can kill viruses and pathogens through the filtration process. And so the EPA has gone after them. It's gone after some of its distributors. So there's more than one distributor that has been given a stop sale document so that they cannot sell Berkey filters anymore. And I always get this wrong. So the New Millennial Concept Limited Company, who owns the intellectual property for this technology, who owns the rights to manufacture the technology, they have sued the EPA, and the judge threw the case out, and then they're appealing again to sue the EPA and it's in the system right now, so we don't know what's going to happen. But Berkey Water put out a statement saying that this could affect their business, it could affect their employees, and world over 500 plus employees. It can affect their distributors. It affects the American public from getting good, clean water. Berkey filters have never harmed anybody or anything. And that even if they agreed to classify this as a pesticide, which is what the EPA wants, it's so costly to do that they could go out of business. Now, they put up a statement saying that they're not going to go out of business, but as of right now, when we call the distributors to ask whether they would be able to restock, because everyone is out of stock right now, if they're able to restock Berkey filters, the answers that we got from the companies were that it's no guarantee. They cannot comment, and it's not 100% certain. So I hope that answers the question about Berkey filters, because I know a lot of you have been asking that. So I hope that clarifies. Let me know if you have any more questions, but I will be posting more about that later today. Okay, next question is from Magdalena. She says, I have a question regarding varroa in beehives. The way they treat it, does it affect our health, consuming it in honey? Yes, if they treat it with chemicals, it's going to affect your health for sure. I'm not sure why it wouldn't. I'm just curious, why would you think it wouldn't affect your health? So it does affect your health. Let me know if that answers your question, or if you have other questions about that. But I hope I understood your question, because sometimes I'm not sure if I'm fully understanding that. Yeah, so if they treat it with toxic stuff, it can definitely impact the honey and your health. Okay, so Diamond Hollow says, yes, what's going on with Berkey? Let me know, Diamond Hollow, if my answer was helpful. Debbie says, I never felt anything from grounding mats. They don't really work. Mila says, chills 1 hour after jogging, lasts about an hour. Why? Various reasons. Your body could be cooling down. Your adrenaline could be kicking in. It could be happening for various reasons. You could be sensitive to the cold because your viruses in your body have made you sensitized to it. Yeah, thanks, Christy. That's super helpful. What does MM say on the bees with sugar served during winter? And feeding bees with sugar served during winter. He hasn't said anything about it as far as I am aware. Life with beta. Can bone spurs in the foot heal on the MM lifestyle? Yes, they can. They can life with beta. They can heal. Bloom and heal. What is the cause of painful cysts in the nose, in random spots on the skin? Happens around my period, strep, shingles, or something else. Often in the nose, if you have things showing up, could be a polyp. That would be strep. Random spots on the skin, I don't know if it's acne, but that also could be strep. But I don't know until I see what it is to say if it's shingles, strep, or something else. What is more important for the health of teeth? A lot of cavities. Being fat-free or grain-free. I can't do both at the moment. BB healing. I would say for health of the teeth, you've got to heal your gut. Doing monocleanse, aloe water, aloe shock therapy, nerve gut acid stabilizer shots, Haya greens are super important and helpful. Villeneuve says, can the vagus nerve affect the function of the kidneys too? No, they're not directly linked to the function of the kidneys in that way. Magdalena says, one more question. Wildflower honey that contains nectar from canola flowers, is that bad for us? Yes, that's bad. Canola is genetically modified. Canola is stands for Canadian oil low acid. It's been genetically modified to reduce the amount of acid that the plant contains. It's very problematic. Eliza. Hi, Eliza. Nice to see you here. What is the cause of dark green tongue? Been detoxing heavy metals since a year, and this color and weird taste in the mouth appeared since a week. What can I do about it? It is basically heavy metals oxidizing out through your tongue. Let them come out. Keep going. Don't change what you're doing, and it will clear up and go away. Christy says the EPA Berkey thing is so adrenalizing. Why don't they go after the real problem? Yeah, well, they won't, because they're trying to create problems for people. It's just a pain in the butt, and it's actually Berkey is under attack. Berkey is under attack. This is not even a valid claim. So Alchemy DeVille says, my husband is asking if anyone did a very long banana mono eating cleanse, mean 6 months or a year or over. One of the most important results. He's reaching a month now. Yes, I have people who have done banana mono and potato mono for over a year. Some have been doing it for over 2 years and really seen massive results in their health. Hi, Sophie. Feel fantastic. Nice to see you here. Some companies have stock. Thanks for sharing, Shannon Nicole. And to heal from within, I have so many people reach out to me who are less fortunate, cannot afford supplements for healing. They want to know if they can still heal. I do tell them to avoid no foods and healing foods. Okay, so yes, they can still heal. And I would recommend for someone who's struggling to get supplements to buy Vimergy when you can afford it. When you can buy one thing of Vimergy, buy one thing of Vimergy, because you will get more out of that one Vimergy supplement than you will from other supplements that you could be taking. So and take it in a small amount, add coconut water to it so that you can get 50% more absorption into your supplements, with your supplements, for that reason. So another question is from Robin Marie, 1989. I have a hiatal hernia. I know AW recommends the mono cleanse, and there are recommended foods in the life-changing foods. It flares up when I eat citrus, garlic, onion, and tart fruits. Any tips besides mono cleansing? I would say really heal the tissues of the body. Heal the liver, maybe do a liver cleanse, hydrate a lot more, flush out the poisons that are in your system a lot more, work on healing your connective tissue. So work on kale is really helpful for that. Cruciferous veggies are really helpful for that. Silica, MSM, nettle leaf are really helpful for that. So besides the mono cleanse, those are other things that you can be doing. CAK 8315, are any craniocervical instabilities, can they be cured? So I am working with someone who has an injury and has caused a lot of cervical instability for them. And can it be cured? We're working on it, and there are people who have had massive amounts of success. But the problem is that when you have an injury, then you can end up with a virus attacking those injured nerves, because injured nerves produce a hormone that calls in the immune system, and these bugs have been created to respond to that hormone as well. So when you get injured, they also show up to that same area, and they attack that area. So anyway, the nerve is injured, and now you have a double whammy effect with the virus now attacking that injured nerve, which is what can prolong craniocervical instability. So yes, if you deal with a viral load, you can allow the body to heal more naturally and quickly and easily, but dealing with that viral load matters a ton. Soldier Medic, 2005, atypical glandular cells. It's very likely viral. Karen says, what about DE? You got to tell me what DE is. There's so many acronyms, and people use them in different ways, so tell me what you mean. Janelle says, shoot, I live in Saskatchewan, which is the canola capital of Canada. Should I not be buying local honey from here then? I would not buy local honey if they're growing a ton of canola plants there. Gamer Hales says, how do you know pot negatively affects do you know how pot negatively affects the brain? I heard from the community that it causes brain damage, but I want more details on what kind of brain damage. So when you consume something like pot or marijuana, it's toxic. So these, psychoactive drugs like ayahuasca, peyote, combo, pot, marijuana in both forms, THC as well as CBD, they contain brain damaging chemicals in them, like in a way neurotoxins, right? They're toxic to the central nervous system. And when you consume them, your body produces a ton of adrenaline. And that adrenaline also can go in and scorch your brain and scorch your system. The way they are produced, like marijuana, has loads of toxic heavy metals in it. And the way it's grown, Anthony says that they put like covers on them, and those covers put more in the winter, they cover them up. And those coverings contain a lot of toxic heavy metals. They go into the plants, and those plants are then what you're eating and consuming in high amounts or smoking. And those metals are going straight into your system and into your brain. So one is the toxic heavy metals. Two, they're neurotoxic even without the toxic heavy metals in them. And what he has said about ayahuasca and peyote and recreational drugs like that is he said they all blow up your brain. Those are the exact words that he has used in other lives. So if you want Gamer Hales, go find his lives and go listen to his words directly from his mouth about what he says about them. Plus he's written about them in Brain Saver. So if you really want to know what he's saying about them, go read what he says in the Brain Saver books, because ayahuasca has a whole section for itself. I'm not sure Pot does, but he's talked about pot on his lives. Ludva says, I have a question regarding pancreas inflammation, cancer, and glucose stones. Glucose stones? Okay, what to do with that? So if you have pancreatic inflammation, pancreatitis, you want to deal with that by addressing it with the correct herbs and bringing down the pancreas inflammation using foods and supplements. And for cancer and things like this, I would recommend either joining our community, the membership community, write the word IHC in the comments or membership in the comments, and we will send you information about the community where you can ask questions, or we can go deeper. It's hard for me to go deeper here. It's such a big question. I want to help you and I want to answer your question, but I need to know so much more information about that. And it's hard for me, from every perspective, as you can imagine, for me to comment on how to work with the C word, right? So make sure that you ask more about that, and we can either in a session or we can do it in the membership where you can ask deeper questions. And that's why membership exists, because while I can do some Q&A here, I am so limited to be able to do deeper Q&A here. I'm not able to. IG bans, IG cuts us out. IG starts to drop people off. We had like 100 people, more than 120 people on the live, and now we have 80 because they keep knocking people off based on the type of conversation that we're having. Okay, so bees and honey. I have a question regarding eyesight. Since I've been doing cleanses, my eyesight is blurry. After doing 24 ounces of melon juice, my eyes gets worse than having 32 ounces of CJ and lemon water. Melons move a lot of poison out of your body. So if you're struggling with melons, it could be that. Maybe do less melon and see what happens. But melons are just moving a lot of toxin, poison, crap out of your body. So just how long does it last? Like, does the eyesight get worse for the whole day, for just a few hours, a few minutes? I don't know. You got to let me know that. JPG Jana says, my daughter, 5 years old, has enlarged tonsils without inflammation, surgery or not. She stops breathing at night. What can I do to relieve the swelling? Give her the mold exposure shot. Give her higher vitamin C, curcumin, golden seal, and the pathogen exposure shot. I literally worked with somebody just 3 days ago who was, for a month, has not been able to breathe at night or sleep at all because she cannot breathe, because every sinus and nasal passage was super inflamed. We started her on these protocols, and she called me back and she was crying, saying, oh my gosh, Muneeza, I can sleep. I'm so relieved. I was so struggling with all of that. So those things will help her. Nobody you know. Hi, Muneeza. How are you? I'm good. How are you? How are you? Diamond Hollow says, I'm off no foods, never had a problem with diarrhea before, and now I get it if I try to increase my celery juice even 1 ounce. I'm doing only 8 ounces of celery now. I still have diarrhea. That means that there's a lot of poison sitting inside the liver that needs to come out, and the celery juice is taking care of it every single day for you. So keep at it, because eventually you'll be able to do more. Nobody you know. You need a one-to-one for your mother. I'm so sorry that your mom is struggling. Reach out to the office, support at muneezaahmed.com, and we'll set you up with a one-on-one. So CAK to 8315, your craniocervical issue isn't from an injury. That's actually good news. That means that it's viral, and you can 100% deal with it with dealing with the viral issues. And so working with bringing in silica, nettle leaf, MSM, but also shingles virus can play a role with this. So using a shingles protocol, core 7, I'll read them all slowly. Pay attention, all of you who are listening. So it's zinc, B12, micro C, lysine, cat's claw, lemon balm, licorice root, golden seal propolis, ALA, mag glycinate, neuromag, curcumin, and the others that I mentioned before. These should help stabilize you in a really big way. All right, so Jacqueline Jean, hi, how are you, Jack? What about CBD and topical oils? It's not the most helpful even topically. If you find that it helps you with pain, you can use it, but just be careful because it will get into your bloodstream. At least the psychoactive chemicals can get into your bloodstream, so just want to be careful with that. Although topically the effect is less than if you're ingesting it or smoking it. Is xanthan gum fine to eat? It's not the best. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. So, Rosie Rose Primavore, baby eczema, no dairy, baby has had plant-based formula, starting getting eczema around 3 months. No dairy. Could rice cause flare-ups? It could, but that formula's got oil in it. I don't know if it has canola or some other kind of oil, but it's very likely got oil in it, and that oil could easily cause a flare-up too. KS Moy says, what to do to prevent nausea, sickness from anesthesia? Colonoscopies used to be no issue, but got sick on the last one, was sick after a toe surgery. So I would start to do pharmaceutical exposure shots before you go in, after you come out. Lots and lots of cucumber juice, coconut water, melon juice, apple cucumber juice, asparagus apple juice to help flush out those toxins from your body. Tamika says, the medical community is pushing psychedelics of all kinds now, also the psychotherapy community. And it's crazy because it will literally blow up your brain, right? It's the saddest thing ever. Christy says, so stinking excited for next year's IHC. I am so stinking excited too. So, wild blueberries. Why do some people vomit after hitting their head? Because it's a shock to your system and you get really rattled. It's out of shock that it can happen and out of a trigger to the nerves in the brain that can happen. For those of you who are wanting to know more about your questions, want more in-depth answers, please consider joining our membership community, IHC. We're in our 5th year, guys, 5 years running. We have helped over 7,000 people in our community over the 4 years we've been in active, and we're going into our 5th year. If you want support, if you want help, if you want to be in a community who's going to love you, take care of you, respect you, listen to you, give you real answers to your problems and your questions, please consider joining and DM me if you want, if you have a question, or type IHC into the comments or membership into the comments, and we'll send you information about it. Bees and honey. It's the whole day that my eyesight is worse. It only clears when I wake up in the morning. So have you tried doing a day where you don't have melons? What happens when you don't have any melons? And let me know. And this is the type of thing. So, for example, I'll ask you this question, then you're going to wait to write a comment back. And this is something we can do so much more easily in membership because we're in a written forum. And also we can do it on a live Q&A where I do laser coaching with people. So yeah, so Gamer says, thank you for answering my pot question. I have read the Brain Saver chapters on ayahuasca and shrooms, but he doesn't mention pot. I wish he had. He didn't discuss brain damage specifically during the lives. There are lives, Gamer, that you're missing where he said it blows up the brain, and he talked about the damage, and it was before Brain Saver came out. So this is like Brain Saver came out in November of 2022. So he talked about this from like March, April of 2022, all the way through until Brain Saver came out. So look for those specific lives, and you will hear him talking about the brain damage in there. Blessed by a Bee. Hi, Shannon Nicole. Little one just finished an advanced 369. Oh my gosh, I love it. Your little one is awesome. And the third round since September, no more eczema, no more seizures, plowing down chronic strep and EBV, and she's thriving on the MM lifestyle. Thanks for your help. We love you. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. I cannot believe that she's had such progress. You are doing an amazing job with her, Mama. Thanks for sharing. Donica Krell says, can having a super thin uterus after 3 back-to-back cartoons, I'm sure you meant to write a different word, be healed or thickened? What would be the cause? Well, the cause of a super thin uterus is often toxic heavy metals. But you got to tell me, 3 back-to-back, what? Surgeries or something else? What non-seer says, what can I do for cramping spasms on both sides of my back? I move, it gets better, but comes back. What's causing this? It's very likely a shingles virus that's causing it. So bringing in like California poppy, which stops the spasms of shingles, MSM, which stops the spasms of shingles, propolis, which stops the shingles it kills the shingles, golden seal kills shingles, mullein kills shingles, licorice kills shingles, olive leaf kills shingles, lysine is really important for shingles, microseizing B12, of course, we know that happens for all of them, but curcumin can also help, and so will magnesium glycinate and Neuromag, 2 types of magnesium that can be really helpful for this. To heal from within, hi Anna, if you are fat-free, can you eat chestnuts? Yes, you can. Maria says, why do people take out wisdom teeth? Because their dentists tell them to. Is it necessary? Most of the time it's not, unless your wisdom teeth are impacted and inside they're facing this way rather than this way. And if they're going to grow, then they're going to push your teeth out. So that's the only time where it makes sense to take them out. But if for no other reason, it's not helpful to do. Ciao, Brenda. Nice to see you here. Mia, nice to have you here. Path to True Healing, any suggestions for a prolapsed bladder? Yes, start to cleanse the tissues, just like I talked to the person with the hernia. Start to cleanse the tissues, start to do cleanses, start to build up connective tissue. And you may need to wear a pessary. You may need to do some, I recommend doing a jade egg practice to strengthen the pelvic floor. Pilates, where you have to work with the stomach, like pulling in the transverse pelvic floor muscle, really like pulling that in to strengthen the pelvic floor. All of these are really helpful to do. But at the same time, you need to get rid of the bugs, you need to get rid of toxic heavy metals, and you need to do those things to help that go along. So I hope you'll check that out. Nicole, if a root canal tooth is cracked, what are my options? A crown has been suggested. What are your thoughts? If it's cracked, you could put in a crown. I'm not a dentist, so I'm not a dentist. But you could put in a crown. You could also, get the tooth taken out and remove it. But those, I would say, are probably the only 2 good options. A dentist would know more. I'm not an expert. Yeah, so I'll let you know. Hey, Jackie, nice to see you here. Heal with Haley. Do you know when Underdog Warrior starts up again? Best to email them and ask them. I do not know. Tamika says, someone who's suddenly choking in the middle of the night could be dealing with saliva that went the wrong way, or could be dealing with inflammation or an anaphylactic reaction, because that would also do all of that. Diamond Hollow says, I will be joining membership after the holidays. Woohoo! Yes! Cannot wait to have you join us and kind of get in with us, because we'd love to help support you. We love working with the community. It's one of my favorite things to do. Michelle Roslow, thank you, Muneeza. IHC is wonderful for learning about your own health. Brenda says IHC is a beautiful group. Yes, it is. Thank you, ladies, for sharing your truth. Stroller in the rain, is xanthan gum in topical locations needed to be avoided? Not as much. Nope, not as much. Lex says, Membership is so worth it. Made all the difference in fine-tuning my healing. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Christy. Thank you for sharing the link. That's super kind of you. I'll pin your comment. So if people want the link to membership, it's right here. But alternatively, you can just type IHC or membership and we will message you the information. And Canelli says, can mold trigger symptoms if it's completely contained behind a wall? It could. It could if the spores come out. Because the spores of mold do come out. They don't just stay behind the wall, you know? Hinckley Longnecker, is it okay to take B12 and zinc on an empty stomach? AW mentioned subs need to be taken with glucose. Yeah, so B12 and zinc with flax glycerin contains a little glucose in it. So you can take it on an empty stomach, but when we say take it on an empty stomach, you're probably just having lemon water right after that or something right after that. So it's the same as taking it with something. We're not saying take it on an empty stomach and wait an hour, right? It's minutes. So you can do either. And he said very specifically, I listened to him talk about that. He said that if you had to take it on its own, there is glucose in the flax glycerin as well. But you can take it with something or without. Wellness with Natalia. Would cleansing of the uterus cause abnormal discharge? How will the uterus move the gunk if not through the vaginal canal? Well, it doesn't always come through the vaginal canal. It could go through the bloodstream and the lymphatic system, which is where it normally goes. Nobody you know says, when I messaged Vimerdi, they said you can take supplements whenever or with or without food. Exactly. Oh, Donica Krell says, I meant C-sections. So if you meant C-sections, then I would say that, yeah, you can still get your uterus back to its full thickness by doing the work, right? Robin says, Tamika, when I wake up choking, it's from postnasal drip or reflux. Not sure if you're experiencing the same thing, but that's what it is for me. Yeah, it has to be something. It's a fluid that causes you to choke or something happens. Mondimi says, how to heal the emotional side of PTSD? By working with the tools of the moon meditation, the brain meditation by medical medium, the fruit picking meditation are super helpful for PTSD. All the meditations are helpful. It also depends on what kind of emotional struggle you're having. Some people have guilt and shame, in which case I would also recommend doing the guilt and shame shot. Some people feel betrayal, in which case I would recommend the betrayal and broken trust shot. Some people just deal with broken trust in general, so I would do that one. Some are really dealing with trauma, shock, and loss, so I would do that brain shot. So you can combine, I love combining brain shots with meditations. They work like amazing to heal emotional issues. And this summer 24, I've been dealing with a chronic vaginal yeast infection. What can I do? So you have to know the root cause. The root cause of a chronic yeast infection is streptococcus in the vaginal area. And the streptococcus, when it proliferates, the yeast grows as well to give you a message that there's something wrong. So it wants you to do something about it. So that's why the yeast grows, and that's why they swab it and they find the yeast. But the root cause is actually strep. So what you can do about it is to bring in the core 7, so the B12, zinc, micro, C, lysine, cascol, lemon balm, licorice root, and then add in things like golden seal, garlic, turmeric garlic shots from the Life Changing Foods book. You can add in the pathogen exposure shot from the Brain Saver book. You can add in the mold exposure shot also from the Brain Saver book. You can bring in tools like Eyebright and Lomatium and Mullein and Propolis, which will also fight it. High vitamin C will help get rid of yeast. Shaga, which is a mushroom, will help get rid of yeast. So there's a lot that you can do for chronic yeast infections. Macarena says, I'm very curious about the cause of sleepwalking in children. Used to have it when I was a child, and then later in college had some episodes of sleep paralysis. Has MN said anything about it? Yes, he has. Sleep paralysis is caused by toxic heavy metals in the brain. So the way to heal them, get the Brain Saver books and follow the protocols in there. Start doing the heavy metal detox smoothie. You can bring in the extractor smoothie and things of that nature. Phoenix Holistic Doctor, cracked root canal tooth needs extraction. There you have it. She's a dentist or has dental training. Cracked root canal tooth needs an extraction. Claudia, I love MM Healing. I used to sleepwalk Up to 12 years old. Yes. Toxic heavy metals. Any tips for mastitis? Yes. Lots of garlic, turmeric garlic shots, lemon balm, mullein, and a little bit of lomatium can help you release that. Plus a warm compress can help release the pressure or pain from mastitis as well. Are you still offering group calls? I am. If you go to my website and you click on one-on-one laser coaching in a group, you can find our group calls there. Miriam says that it's also possible to buy monthly membership. Yes, it is. Go check out the link right there. You can pay monthly. You can buy the annual. With the annual, you get a massive, amazing bonus. Or we have even a separate offering for some people who are struggling with finances or time to make it like a smaller version of the membership. So that's also available to you. Gamer Hale says, thanks for the support and the knowledge. Sending you so much love. Sending you back so much love, honey. So, Bharaj Harpreet, nice to see you here. How to come off medication for mental health issues. If the medication has a sedative effect, it helps me to sleep. I take 2 maglysonate and 1 melatonin, but 0 effect on nights I don't take the medication. So that's a big question, and that's something that I wouldn't provide recommendations for here on a live, because I need to know your history. I need to know so much more about you. I need to know how it works for you. I need to know what supplements you're taking, what foods you're taking, because if I make a recommendation here today for you to help come off your medications, I could say something that is inappropriate, so I'm not going to do that right now. So I would say the one thing you want to look at is if you have mental health issues, start to look at, removing toxic heavy metals from your brain and doing more work with toxic heavy metals to enable you to come off the medication. This is a question that we could handle for you in membership. We even have one of our support coaches in membership is a psychiatrist, and she helps people work with these issues all the time. So if you want to know more about that, I would really encourage you to come into membership and ask more questions in there. All right, in our next question is from Miriam. What causes snoring in children? Snoring is caused by inflammation of the nasal passages and the sinus passages, and so or it can be obstructive, so it can be caused by an obstruction, or it could be non-obstructive. And non-obstructive is neurological, so you have to figure out which of those issues it is, Miriam. Susie says, can you replace cashews with chestnuts in recipes? For example, in your potato salad recipe. Yes, you could definitely give that a go. Josie's Journey, what Vimergy subs do you recommend with pregnancy? Josie, I have a whole blog on pregnancy supplements. Go to muneezaahmed.com. M as in Mary, U, N as in Nancy, EEZA, just like my name up here on the Instagram feed, Muneeza Ahmed, AHMED.com, and go to the search and type pregnancy, and it'll pop up that blog so you can read and follow what recommendations we do for pregnancy. So little Jenny, 72, in recent years when I got the flu, I got problems with nasal congestion for several months after, which affects my ears. Little Jenny, what I recommended to the 5-year-old who was struggling to breathe at night, those same recommendations for streptococcus is what you need to do, right? So I would definitely follow that. If you guys want more support, type IHC into the chat box or membership, and we will get back to you with more information. Tell us what you're trying to heal. What do you want more support with, right? IHC for the whole year costs $1.7 a day. It's not even like $2 a day. It's $1.7 a day if you buy the annual membership to get that kind of support. The amount of time, effort, energy, and the professionalism and the experience of the practitioners there, including myself. We have amazing doctors, nurses, and health coaches there to support you. Like, bang for buck, you literally cannot get the kind of help at that price anywhere with medical medium information. So Kay Garabi says, I'm not formally diagnosed with hypothyroidism. I think I have something due to these symptoms. Sensitive to cold and no eyebrows and poor hair health. no head growth where it's starting to heal. So, so no eyebrows. So you are having alopecia. Alopecia is Epstein-Barr. Hypothyroidism is also Epstein-Barr. Get the Thyroid Healing book if you need that to start zoning in on how to heal from thyroid issues and where to get started. I also have a course called The Roadmap to Healing. It's free if you go to my website, muneezaahmed.com. It tells you step by step how to get started. And also it's great for people who've been on for a while on these protocols and are stuck. It'll help you get unstuck. So it's a free course. It's 7 videos. You can download it and start. So that's a great place to start. It shows you the top supplements to start with, the top foods to cut out, the order in which you can think about cutting out those foods. It talks about your adrenals. It talks about your emotions. It talks about your stress. And it talks about the whole arc of healing. And I also included in it at the very end a handout which tells you from the community, we asked people the questions, what would you have liked to have known before this journey started? And so you get to know those things now at the start of your journey rather than figuring it out later on. Claudia, what is the reason xanthan gum is bad? Sometimes, not always, it's got made from corn. Brenda says, absolutely, to me, the morning cleanse is the easiest. It's the only cleanse that I have done, and I've been on MM close to 8 years, and I've healed a lot. That's amazing. That's amazing. What is the cause of being allergic to healing foods like bananas and avocados, hives, itchy throat? That means that you have a very sluggish liver and you're dealing with food sensitivities, which is a whole chapter in the Liver Rescue book. So go read that and understand it to help figure out what you can do for those issues, right? So food and chemical sensitivities, that's what that is. Trilo Couture says, my doctor prescribed me vitamin D 50,000 a week. That's not safe. That's too high. Medical Medium in the Liver Rescue book says not to go more than 1,000 IUs of vitamin D a day. Robin says, I hear of people who have healed from endometriosis on MM, but I'm wondering if you can heal the lesions in the tissue fully without surgery. Yes, you can. You can. Is sleep paralysis due to toxic heavy metals? Yes, it is. Christy says, I chose to renew my IHC membership instead of going home to visit my family for Christmas. It's that good. Just don't tell my family. Oh my gosh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. How to keep mono cleanse results. As soon as I come back to regular food, I'm bloating and have reflux followed MM for a year, and I don't have any no foods in my diet. So I would say you might need to do it for a bit longer and add in the nerve gut acid stabilizer and add in aloe to help you keep those results. Zin Rosie says, you're amazing. Thank you. You're so kind. What can 1-year-old transition to after plant-based formula? I would do avocados and bananas. Please, can you post some retrograde calendar for 2024? I cannot find it. Okay, I will. I can't take the toxic heavy metal smoothie after a week. My gut gets bad and I have to take pills to calm it down. Then maybe you're not ready for it. Maybe you just need to focus on more mono symptoms and mono support and gut support, and maybe even like not do like maybe the cilantro, or maybe it's the powders that are upsetting you, right? Chilblains in children, is it toxic blood? Yeah, it's a little infection too that can cause that, but it can be a little bit of toxic blood, and it can be, so you want to take some antivirals to calm that down. All right, guys, that is all I have time for today. I will go live again next few days. Look out for it and answer more of your questions. I love doing Q&A with you, and I hope you enjoyed today. It was a good, boom, boom, boom Q&A. Check out membership. Ask me questions about membership. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to support you. And we want you to get better, right? I know you have questions. Look at the number of questions that show up on all the lives. I know you have questions. Please consider joining. We really want you to heal. I, from the bottom of my heart, want you to heal. Thank you for being here with me and hanging out. Enlightened love to all of you. Merry Christmas to everybody here. And blessed be. Blessings to everyone. Hope you have a time of connection and rest with your family and your loved ones. And I look forward to talking with all of you soon. Mwah. What are the hours for members, Tootie Crackers? There's no hours. It's 24/7. You can ask questions in there. All right. Bye, everyone.